Hello, hello.
Good evening, good evening. Today is the big launch. Make some noise, Avneet.
Super, super excited. We've been working tirelessly towards the 5th of April. I'm so excited to unveil what we are going to be, what we worked so hard to build for you guys, right? So, Diksha, I'm going to let you set the context, set the floor for today.
Absolutely. So I do know that a lot of you who are listening have either heard about Encubay. I'm sure we've met a lot of you in person through all our interventions. And over these 4 years, if Encubay has achieved any impact scale, it's because people like you that are part of our network. Today is a very, very special day. It's the Encubay membership curtain raise that we are going to be bringing forward to you, where we will unveil what we have been working on for the past 1 year. In a short sentence, everything and all of the stuff that we do at Encubay is aimed towards bringing more diversity in the startup ecosystem. And our North Star is ensuring that more women business owners, more female founders scale up, raise capital, and go global. So, Avneet, with that, I would love to invite you so that we can share what we have in store with everyone here. We will make this as interactive as possible. My kind request to everyone here is that during this 35-minute presentation, there will be a lot of cues where we'll request you to think, where we'll request you to comment, where we'll request you to tag fellow female founders in your network on this particular live and make sure that it goes to as many people. So, without further ado, over to my partner in Love, Life, and Business, Avneet Kohli. Let's get started and show everyone the magic that we've been working on.
Dee, we have been talking about our new branding and we've been talking about something called the Chico system. Yesterday we put out a video on LinkedIn where my video said that if you're a part of the startup ecosystem, I think one of the most commonly heard words is the term ecosystem, right? But what does that really mean? If we look at how nature works in all its glory and its beauty, so many different elements have to conspire, have to complement each other, have to work together in order for everything to flow seamlessly. What are your thoughts on what ecosystem means? And more appropriately, how do you think that applies to a business context? And what do we mean by ecosystem?
For life, just the way you mentioned, coexistence is very important, and every element of nature plays an important part. Same way for businesses to coexist is mandatory. No business can survive on their own. They need different stakeholders to be part of their growth journey. Now, who are these different stakeholders? It's their own peers, it's founders in the ecosystem, it's corporates, it's banks, it's tech companies, it's service providers. It's a lot of experts, a lot of consultants, a lot of mentors, and of course, a lot of investors and the governments in their own right. Right now, the ecosystem of change is something and a term that we coined very, very recently, just about 6 months ago, when we were thinking hard about how do we define ourselves as a company, right? I get this question very often. What is Encubay? What do you guys do? We see a lot, we hear a lot, but what really is it? And in fact, before I go into that, I want to actually take this time to bust some myths about Encubay, right? That we commonly hear, we commonly feel. We thought a platform like this is the best way to kind of, set the standard straight. Um, Encubay isn't for profit. Think again, guys. Avneet and I are fully committed to doing this, and we have a team that works tirelessly with us. We truly feel that any and everything with women in business is not charity, but it's an extremely lucrative and profitable way to actually grow, right? And the way that we look at it, when more women led businesses grow, we grow. So that's compounded success for you. Avneet, I would love for you to take the second misconception.
Dee, to complement what you said, right, I think I was reading this study from Morgan Stanley, which had a statistic that not investing in women is almost a $3 trillion worth missed opportunity, right? So very often when people think of women, either they think we are driving a feminist, narrative, and they think that, okay, this is a social cause, but that's so untrue. Because at Encubay, what we want to do is enable more women to accelerate business growth, and we surely can't do that if we are a not for profit. So thank you for bringing that in. The other thing is we do such a lot of activations and interventions. Now we are active in 6 chapters in India. We do a lot of events, but we commonly get mistaken as being an event company, but we're not an event company. The reason we do a lot of these events is because we want to create spaces where women where it can interact with role models, can see a lot of other women who are, paving the path in different sectors and industries, draw inspiration from each other, exchange ideas, and all of that has to happen in a physical space, right? I think pandemic is gone, virtual events, okay, but meeting real people, real human connection, nothing can dispense that.
Couldn't agree more. And I think having more role models is a very clear cut way to show everyone, men, women, all of us together, that the amount of economic potential that can be harnessed, when women succeed in business. And that brings me to the third misconception, that Encubay is all about the ladies. Well, yes, a lot of the work that we do is tailored around working towards women in business, helping them scale, raise, and go global. But we are not leaving the men behind, because making this paramount, this paradigm shift change is impossible without men being part of this movement. And we have been fortunate to have a lot of men as part of this ecosystem of change, in the form of founders themselves, co-founders to companies that are led by women, male investors who want to invest in female-led startups, a lot of men in corporates who want to give business to female business owners, right? So the way that we look at it is, innovation to me is gender agnostic. Unfortunately, we live in a very unrealistic and a very imperfect world. So everything that we do is to increase the status, or the equilibrium of men and women in the startup ecosystem. So of course, it is tailored around bringing men and women together, but most of our efforts are to help female-led businesses.
Yeah, I
So
think it's also time for us to show people what we've been up to and not just talk about it. So I think our team has put together a lovely video, and I think it's time to bring that in. Yeah.
let's do it.
knowledge, network, and capital.
Phew,
Boom.
that brought back so many fond memories and so many cherished moments of impact that we have built over this 4 year window. And talking about the impact, right, I also want to now dig in a little bit into the challenges that we have realized women have been facing and why we started 4 years ago in 2020 and why today we are doing a big reveal of what's next at Encubay, right? But before I do that, this is just a little bit of an introduction to the ecosystem that Avneet and I spoke of. We are a company that started digitally in 2020 in the midst of COVID, if we recall something like COVID now, 4 years later. But yes, just for all of you to understand our structure, Encubase in the middle, those are all the stakeholders that are part of the ecosystem. And when Encubay brings it together and gives access of this to female founders, it becomes a ecosystem that's driving a revolution. So let me now throw some light on the challenges that women face. And if we can go on to the next slide, you'll also have that in front of you. Now, three things, or rather, three areas that stood out extremely importantly in our interactions with over 10,000 female founders in these past 4 years are something that you're seeing right on your screen, right? Not having enough of knowledge. And I want to just correct this. I know that all of our women and men who turn entrepreneurs are extremely educated, but when you're running a business, you might have a domain expertise in what you're building, but you might need expertise to make that business sustainable, right? So for that, you need a network of people who you are relying on for that knowledge. So that was one gap. The next gap was, of course, a lot of networks, right? And Avneet, maybe I want you to touch upon your personal story as a founder 10 years ago. When you launched your first business, how did you find yourself? How were you placed? Did you feel networkless?
I mean, the I started a business in a time where we wouldn't call ourselves a founder, but we'd say we're self-employed, right? So now is the time, and I think things have moved in the positive direction ever since. But yes, I think these were the three gaps that I constantly faced. I mean, especially when you're starting out, you have limited resources. You're not. I mean, you have an idea, you have the passion, the hunger, the drive, but you don't. I mean, today a lot of the frameworks, whether it's the lean startup philosophy or it's a business model canvas, I mean, 12 years ago all of this didn't exist. Yeah. And even in terms of getting the word out there, you'd only be there weren't, the kind of events that we do, these kind of spaces didn't exist. I mean, my closest experience was, I don't want to take names, but I would be one of the three or four women in, like, men suited in these black rooms. So yeah, these networks didn't exist. And
Completely
capital,
resonate with you.
you were always fighting. I mean, you were always like self-funded. So capital was not, raising capital or having an external source of capital was not even a thought at that time.
No, absolutely. I think similarly, when I started my journey about 12 years ago, I don't recall anyone looking like me or, as young as I was, which was right out of college. So there was, of course, you're intimidated, you don't know who to reach out to, right? So, and we kind of check this with a lot of women in our network, to everyone who's listening, that just simple things like, hey, I want a reference to hire someone, hey, I want to talk to someone in XYZ corporate to get business, right? For the longest time, women didn't have a lot of these networks accessed, right? And that's been a major gap. And of course, talking about capital, right, I don't need to flash statistics about how little capital goes to female led companies, right? But I also want to talk about this another aspect, which I want to say is that a lot of times female led business are extremely sustainable, right? And money makes money. It's just that women have been used to running something so frugally that they might not know the various options to avail capital, right? Whether it's equity, whether it's debt, whether it's grants, whether it's maybe some sort of friends and family round, right? So there's been a lot of misconception or unawareness about how fundraising and capital works, especially among female founders, and that's also a major gap, right? So now that we have captured our multiple conversations and interactions into these three gaps. Avneet, what next? What did we do?
We have designed a one of a kind membership for these female founders to accelerate growth, to enable opportunities. And I want to bring in the big reveal video. So I'm going to first show it to you and then talk about it. So, yes, that's a little teaser of our membership launch today. We opened doors to female founders across India and UAE to grow this ecosystem to greater, newer heights. And it's time for you to step in, become a member. This is an exclusive opportunity. If you are, if this is something that you resonate with, then this is the right platform for you, right? At Encubay, the way we're looking at it is that any startup that has at least one female founder in the founding team would be able to derive value from this. They got to be like in the early to growth stage. They got to be super ambitious. They got to be tech enabled. Let me reiterate, not tech businesses, but tech enabled businesses. So, as long as you have some sort of a digital presence, you would be a good fit for this. This could be across any sector. You could be based in any of these two geographies. More importantly, irrespective of where you're based, you need to have that hunger and drive to scale your business, take it to new heights. And what we likely, if you can move to the next slide, what we like to call scale, raise, and go global. That's the ethos that we are looking for.
Absolutely. And the way that I like to put it is over the past 1 year, there have been a lot of times where we've brainstormed within our teams with some of our founders and our advisors. And I think the common analogy was that today, if I'm a woman in business in the 21st century and I want to walk into a room and I want to get this, AI enabled touch screen, and with the touch of a couple of buttons, I should have everything that will make my venture successful. Well, we've tried our best to encapsulate that just without the touch screen because, as entrepreneurs, where we're still very human to human connected. But we have made sure that any and everything you would need to scale up, to raise, to go global, right? And I also want to take some time to decode these three words, right? Which is scaling up, raising, and going global. And let me actually invite Avneet to talk about the first one, which is scaling up.
Dee, when we talk about scaling up, right? There are so many aspects, and with the nature of a network, we talk to women founders who are across the board, right? There could be somebody, when we say early, they could be as early as in their first 2 years of business, to someone who's achieved an MVP and now needs to scale up. Our this membership would be an extremely valuable fit for those who've achieved an MVP and now are looking to, either grow through the power of networks, want to go global, acquire a new audience. So that is what they are essentially, they have that MVP in place. So they're not testing their idea, but they have got some proof of concept. They have a minimum viable product. That's what I mean by MVP. And now it's time for them to grow ahead from where they are. But I also do want you to clarify, because there's so many other options and memberships out there. why the Encubay network membership? Like, what are the distinctions? How have we thought about this? And what is exclusive? I want you to get into that.
So the way that I like to call it in a nutshell is it's your gateway to scaling up your venture. And before I move on to what Avneet has asked me, I really want to coax you all that while this presentation, also please have a look at our website. We have just rebranded, and Akanksha Sareka from Flying Elephant Designs, a big shout out to her. Her team has done a fabulous job on just encapsulating what we do as an organization. So go check that out, and in the meanwhile, also apply or join the network. So Amit, to kind of take your question, right? I think over those interactions that we've been having over the past 1 year to try really say, what is it that's missing, right? What can I give a female founder today that's not already existing in the ecosystem, right? Because trust me, we've come a long way in these 10 years. And here are some of the things that really, really put us apart. And I want to take the first one, which is structured network approach versus a community, right? I think communities are beautiful. They are the cornerstone, they are the backstone of the ecosystem, right? Because they help people get people together when people itself don't know who to meet, right? But if you're laser focused to actually raise capital, scale your venture, or go global, you need a very structured approach. And for those of you who've been chatting with us, I use this example very often that a community is like going for a buffet, right? Where you have so much variety, so many different cuisines, so much food. Sometimes you overeat, sometimes you undereat, sometimes you're just like, what did I just do? Did I even, do my palate justice? And it can get overwhelming. But a structured network is like that 5 or 8 course set meal, which is specifically designed according to your palate, according to your preferences, and according to your growth goals, right? So Encubay really brings to you that structured network approach, because we know today if you are running a business, you cannot restrict yourself to be only part of one network, right? You have to be part of multiple groups, but you need a network that guides you through that growth journey. So that's the first point, in terms of structured network and community. And Avneet, go for the next one.
Before I dive into the next one, hold on with this slide, Vishruti. But before I get into the next one, I just want to take a quick pause and ask people, out of these three words, right, which is scale, raise, and go global, what do you need most in your business right now? Hit the comments box and tell us wherever you are, what is the next step for you? Are you at the step, are you at a stage where you now want to scale? Are you ready to raise, or are you ready to go global? Tell us in the comments box. Now, coming back to what are the distinctions, right? What makes this membership different and valuable? I am also, along with what I do at Encubay, I'm also a life and a business coach. I have been a part of God knows how many webinars and sessions and communities and networks and everything. And all of them are offering, surely they bring forward experts, but these are like one time webinars or one time sessions where there's a lot of information given out, but there is no deep, immersive business transformation happening, right? So that is where we want to do something differently, where it's not just one time mentorship and information dispensed at large, but we want our experts, we call them growth consultants. These are guys we pair up with startups as per their business challenges. So it's very curated, it's very personalized to their personal challenges, and these consultants help them in an immersive manner solve for those challenges.
Couldn't agree with you more. And we have a stellar lineup of these experts. Again, you can head over to our website, and when you go to our memberships page, you will see some of those amazing individuals out there. Now, global networks over local networks. We live in 2024. AI is doing most of our jobs. Why should we not be thinking of a global scale and a global network when we have social media and when we have networks like Encubay, right? I truly feel that today, if you're a business owner, you should be looking out the realm of just building local networks. And which is why at Encubay, we launched in 2020, and in 2021, we launched in Dubai in the Middle East, right? And an active part of what we do is make gateways for our members to experience these global startup ecosystems and corridors. There's a surprise waiting for all of you at the end of our presentation, and especially for women who are going to be applying before the 15th of April as early access members. There are two amazing conferences happening in Asia, one in the Middle East and one in Southeast Asia, that we are the only Indian partners for. So wait till we get there. But the simple thing is, today as a business, you want to think global, right? You don't want to only build local networks, but you want to have global networks. And that's what Encubay provides to you.
When we talk of women, I think there's no doubt everyone's hardworking. Women in certain situations with additional responsibilities expected of them could be even more hardworking. But very often they lack, marketing, promoting themselves, putting forward their expertise, building a personal brand. And as a network, that's something that we create multiple opportunities for, right? Whether it is our internal events, whether it's these trade corridors that we have now established very strongly between India and UAE, where we bring in these trade delegations, activate potential clients, networks, opportunities for you to be visible in these global markets. Personal as well as business branding, both are equally important, right? And that's what we enable for you as a part of this membership. To also zap through the next two, I do want to talk about how all of us have different costs when you're starting up a business, where it could be SaaS based tools, it could be co-working spaces, it could be various things that you spend on as a part of your business. And as a part of this membership, you get access almost $50,000 worth of perks, credits, discounts is what you will be having access to. Dee, the last one, I'm going to let you take it up because this is your core, I think no one does it better than you.
I want to share a very personal story. We do something called the Power Circles at Encubay, which are our monthly networking meetups done online as well as offline. And these are cozy groups of anywhere between 20 to 50 women. We did one such Power Circle in Bangalore, and there was a female founder who was in Bombay, and she was attending our Power Circle. Um, it was the first time she was attending, and she actually cried at the end of the event and came and hugged me and said, "Thank you for doing this, because now I know what it's to me, what it means to interact with other founders, and I'm not mindlessly collecting business cards or mindlessly telling people what I do like a tape recorder." Right? I cannot emphasize this more. Networking, or transactional networking, doesn't work. Relationship building is the only key to you developing that bond with someone that will translate into business, into ROI over a sustained period of time, right? We only and only encourage relationship building as a network. That is our ethos. That's what's worked for all of us, in within our teams, as well as the founders that we've worked at. And case in point is literally Avneet and me. We started our journey 4 to 5 years ago on this very platform. It's only been uphill from there, only because we truly believe in harnessing the power of relations. So now that you understand the mindset of how and what has gone into designing this exclusive membership for female founders in India and the Middle East, we're going to quickly touch upon what entails in the membership. Again, I want to cue you all. Like Avneet said in the comments, please tell us what your pain points are in terms of scaling, raising, and going global. And at the same time, everything that I've said is available on our website. If you go to www.encubay.com/become a member, you'll have details of the Encubay membership, right? But very quickly, you will get access to industry experts, the growth consultants that we spoke about. You will get curated perks, not only for business, but even for travel. You will get relevant corporate connections and POCs. You're a business, you want to sell B2B, you want relevant connections, we've got you covered, right? Anything and everything on fundraising, right from whether should I raise or not, to your strategy, to your outreach, to your paperwork is entirely covered among everything that we do. Helping you expand globally. Like we said, we're already present in the Middle East and going to be soon launching in a couple of other places too. But your roadmap to that, going global is something you'll get. And of course, we will help each and every founder and then venture really build that strong personal brand through the ecosystem that we've created. So, ladies, this is the time. This is our big reveal. This is what a lot of our efforts, a lot of our time, our mind power has gone into. My only request to everyone who's listening is today, when you sleep at night, picture what you want your business to look like in the next 12 months. And if you don't feel like scaling, raising, or going global, then don't apply to us. I highly doubt that's going to be the case. So when you do think of these three things, please picture us and make sure that you hit the apply button and you take it from there. So that would be my final invite to everyone. Please spend some time on our website. Please go through everything we've been sharing. We will put this presentation up as well. But if you're at the brinks of making it big and large and don't know where to start, this is your starting point.
And Dee, at that note, I think we've spoken about the entire offering, but I think it's also time for us to bring forward some of the women who've experienced, what it's like to be a part of Encubay, right? So let's hear from these fantastic women. Vishruti, please cue the video.
In my startup journey, which hasn't been a very long one so far, one of the highlights for me has been to be a part, in some way, small or otherwise, of Encubay. It has allowed me the opportunity to meet incredible people, incredible female founders doing incredible things, making impact in sectors across the board, whether it's fashion, technology, finance, education, so on and so forth. And I don't think that would have been as easy to access if it weren't for Encubay.
And Diksha, I've known them since last 3 years now, and I feel so happy that we started connecting the power circles in Pune, Bangalore, Mumbai, Delhi, and now here we are in Dubai doing the right kind of networking, helping each other and taking a major leap and helping female founders to a greater extent in whatever field that they require.
Encubay, to me, is a property that's changing the landscape of how social diversities work, especially in highly conservative areas like India and the Middle East. And I think they're paving the way for a whole new generation of women that are going to show the world that it's a very different time and this time belongs to women.
Encubay supports women in a way that is enabling a lot for you. So I think for me, they've helped me get funding ready. They've helped me feel more confident about what we're trying to build because when you go to the market, when you try to talk to people, you will hear a lot of people saying, no, this is not big enough, this is not good enough, this is too early, this and that. But I think the people at Encubay just really, once they believe in you, they just stand by you all through. And that's really the support system in a real sense. So I would say it's a support system for women who are trying to navigate the investment journey. I think that's been a great part of value add for me.
I've been in Dubai for a year and a half, and unfortunately, I don't get a chance to be in a room full of women entrepreneurs. Yes, I find them here and there, but there are no networking opportunities. So I've been trying to become a part of the Encubay, Dubai delegation for a while, so that I get to meet like-minded women, because I felt that in my last 3 years of journey as an entrepreneur, women have really supported me. These kind of communities and networks have really helped me grow. And I think Encubay is doing a great job. I don't often see such events happening in Dubai just aimed at women entrepreneurs. So this is amazing, guys. You're doing great.
Diversity has always been a big passion of mine, especially as a woman in finance for the last 23 years. And it's one of the things I feel most passionate about, especially as it relates to founders and businesses. I think one of the things that Encubay is doing here in terms of supporting female founders is something that we need to do more and more everywhere in the world right now.
It's very, very heartwarming to see all these videos and the candid feedback that people give us. And this only motivates us to do more with everything that we've put together. And now time for the special surprise for the women who are looking to apply, who are looking to raise, scale, and go global. If you're applying before 15th of April, which is in the next 10 days, we have 2 global conferences to send you invites of. So Avneet, over to you to talk about one of those conferences, and then I'll talk about the other one.
So the first one is called We Convention. This is one of the largest global platforms for women industry leaders. This is not necessarily only for entrepreneurs, but women across government, across corporate entrepreneurship, across the board that are convening to talk about empowerment, to talk about enablement, to talk about growth opportunities across the board. This is happening on the 20th and 21st of April. So in case any of you want to be a part of this global convention, this is one of the first opportunities that we bring you. The next, Diksha?
The next one is a conference called Money 2020. It is one of the most sought after conferences for investments, fintech, money, everything to do with the investment side. Originally started in the US in Las Vegas, and it got coined as one of the quirkiest conferences around money, right? So if you're someone who is in the investment landscape, who's building something in fintech, who's building something in wealth, insurance, or someone looking to raise funds for your venture as well as maybe for your own your own venture capital fund, this is a great conference to meet and connect and learn about the money, or rather the revolution of money over the next 10 years. It's happening in Bangkok, so it's very close. It's about a 4-hour flight from India and about 6 hours from Dubai. 23rd to 25th April, again, we have 50% off on all their tickets across all their borders. So if you're someone who's looking to go, we will be giving you access to that if you're applying, right? And just a general call out, both the conferences, if you're listening and you're a man and you would like to attend, we're completely fine with that. Please do reach out to us. We have a majority slots for our female founders who apply for the membership, but we'll try to see how best we can accommodate you.
Superb. And with that, we bring this beautiful live to a wrap. We encourage all of you. Now is the time you head to the encubay.com website. You click on the Become a Member page and you register your interest. I genuinely look forward to engaging with each and every one of you and to be able to play a role as a part of your vision where we help you raise, scale, and go global.
Come join in this ecosystem of change. Look forward to seeing all of you.
Thank you.